Hello, amazing soul. You think he's just interested, but he's already built an entire future around you in his mind, and he hasn't even told you yet. Stay with me, because what's happening inside him right now is deeper, heavier, and far more serious than anything he's shown on the surface. And once this shifts, you won't be able to ignore it. From the very first moment, you stood out, but not in the way you think. It wasn't just your appearance. It wasn't just attraction. It was the way you held yourself. Calm, composed, slightly distant. Like you were always aware of more than you were saying. You didn't rush to connect. You didn't try to impress. You didn't lean in too quickly. And that alone disrupted his usual pattern. Because he's used to people making things easy for him. You didn't, and that made him stop. Look again, think again, then watch you. At first, he tried to understand you logically. He observed your words, your tone, your reactions. He tried to place you into something familiar, but you didn't fit. You were too balanced, too self-contained, too emotionally aware without being emotionally available to just anyone. And that's when something shifted inside him. Because behind your calm, he sensed depth. Behind your silence, he sensed history. He picked up on the fact that you've been through something, maybe more than one thing. Moments where you had to close yourself off, where you had to rebuild, where you had to learn the hard way who deserves access to you and who doesn't. You didn't tell him, but he felt it, and instead of pulling away from that, it pulled him closer. Because now, it wasn't just attraction. Now, it was curiosity mixed with respect. And then, admiration. There was a moment where everything between you felt like it could align effortlessly. Conversations flowed, energy matched. There was no forcing, no chasing, no imbalance. It felt natural, equal, real, and that moment stayed with him, long after it passed. Because something about it felt different from anything he's experienced before. But right after that, things accelerated internally for him. Not externally, internally. His thoughts became louder, more frequent. You started appearing in his mind at random times. When he was busy, when he was alone, when he was trying to focus on something else. And instead of fading, those thoughts became more detailed. He started imagining scenarios, conversations that didn't happen yet, moments that haven't existed, but felt real in his mind. And that's when it hit him. You're not just someone he likes. You're someone he could choose. And that realization didn't calm him. It unsettled him. Because this is not a man who makes that kind of decision lightly. He's used to control, used to knowing exactly what he wants and moving toward it without hesitation. But with you, there's a level of caution that he's not used to feeling. Because he knows one thing very clearly. You're not easy to access. You're not someone he can approach casually and expect instant openness. You won't bend. You won't adjust. You won't lower your standards just because someone wants you. And that forces him to step back, not to lose interest, but to calculate, to understand, to approach this the right way. During this period of distance, he didn't forget about you. He went deeper, analyzing your behavior, remembering details, replaying interactions, trying to understand what makes you open and what makes you close off. And the more he thought about it, the more certain he became. You're exactly what he wants, not in a surface level way, in a long-term, serious, grounded way. He sees your independence, the fact that you don't need anyone, to survive, to function, to feel complete. And instead of intimidating him, it draws him in even more. Because if you choose him, it's real. It's not dependency. It's not convenience. It's choice. And that's what he values. But here's where it intensifies. Because this isn't just admiration anymore. This is emotional attachment forming. He starts feeling protective over you, not loudly, not possessively, but deeply, quietly. He doesn't like the idea of you being misunderstood, of someone else mishandling you, of you being placed in situations where your value isn't recognized properly, and whether he admits it or not, he's already thinking about how he would handle that, how he would show up, how he would make sure you're treated correctly. But at the same time, he's holding himself back because he doesn't want to come in halfway. He doesn't want to risk losing his chance by moving too fast or too emotionally. He wants to come in stable, clear, certain. And that's exactly what's building right now, because the waiting phase is reaching its limit. There's a shift happening inside him, from thinking to deciding, from observing to acting. You're going to feel it first through a change in his energy, less hesitation, more directness, more intention behind what he says, how he says it. And when he chooses to reach out, it won't feel accidental. It will feel deliberate, because it is. But understand this clearly. While he sees you as everything he wants, he also knows you won't accept inconsistency. You won't tolerate confusion. You won't stay in something that doesn't feel stable, real, and aligned. And that doesn't scare him away. It forces him to rise, to meet you where you are, to match your level. Because losing you over something careless is not something he's willing to risk. There's also something else you need to see. He doesn't just want you emotionally. He wants a life with someone like you, someone he can build with, someone who adds to his world instead of taking from it, someone who stands beside him, not behind him. And in his mind, that person is you, even if he hasn't said it yet, even if he hasn't shown the full extent of it yet. The decision is forming, solidifying, becoming real. So if you've been wondering why his energy feels different, why there's this quiet intensity, why you feel like something is building but not fully revealed yet, this is why. Because in his world, you're no longer just someone he's interested in. You're the one he's measuring everything else against. And what happens next is him proving that this isn't just a thought anymore. It's a decision he's ready to act on.